If you want to enter our new Xbox and PS5 giveaway, all you have to do is subscribe and leave a comment. We'll be picking a subscriber to win out of the comments. Vince McMahon is often a topic of discussion amongst WWE wrestlers. After all, there's only a few people who get to work closely with the man himself. Some of the wrestlers' comments have been pretty outlandish, so I'm the Wicked from Watch WWE, and here's 10 rumors that have been said about Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Number 10, Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler is not a rumor that was said about Vincent Kennedy McMahon, but he did say some rumors about Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Dolph Ziggler's been a part of WWE roster for quite a long time now. Considering his look and phenomenal ability in the ring, fans would expect his show off to be a main event star, which, you know, he flirted with the idea of it on occasions, but he really failed to live up to the potential, more so due to WWE's booking. But, you know, rinse and repeat, reuse, reduce, recycle, just keep on going down the list as WWE does with everyone that they, misuse just a tad bit. I really went off there. WWE gave up on him as a world champion after a couple poorly timed injuries put him on the shelf at a time when he should have been proving himself as the main event draw. In recent years, Ziggler's become the guy WWE turns to when it needs to put someone else over or as a stopgap feud. In an interview in November last year, Ziggler shared a very interesting story about Vince McMahon. Ziggler spoke about how the gorilla position can become extremely intense backstage, and that something he did infuriated the boss man. Ziggler in particular mentioned that McMahon was furious when the show-off went too long in the ring. Vince yelled at him, saying that this is not the Attitude Era and that he couldn't just go as long as he wanted to. WWE has been accused of over-scripting its shows for the last decade or so, and this instance is proof of the fact that there's little room for real spontaneity in the eyes of Vinnie Mac.
He walked into the elimination chamber and he walked out the other side a star, and it should be me.
Number 9, Drew McIntyre. In a recent interview, Drew McIntyre spoke about some of the advice that Vince McMahon gave him, which helped him become a main event star. McMahon told the Scotsman that it's your face that gets you over. So when McIntyre returned to the independent scene in the hopes of resurrecting his career, he focused on his facial expressions and mannerisms, in addition to putting on great matches and killing it behind a microphone. Since returning to WWE, McIntyre has been one of the promotion's most impressive performers. This also gives fans insight into what McMahon values in his top performers and what he believes is integral to helping a wrestler get themselves over in this business.
10 years, he attached himself to me like a parasite to reach the top of the mountain, but you know the thing? I am the damn mountain.
Number 8, Jinder Mahal. In a podcast appearance a little while ago, Mahal spoke about his downward spiraling of the card after losing the WWE Championship in a conversation he had with Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Why do I keep saying his full name? Regarding his future. According to the modern day Maharaja, Vince McMahon promised that he would be a champion in the promotion once again. It's interesting to learn that McMahon still views Mahal as a potential main event star, despite his less than stellar run as a champion and the fact that he's become increasingly injury prone in recent years. But he is a very jacked, very big man, and that is the ultimate Vince McMahon appeal, so I guess it makes sense. Number 7, Kevin Owens. Before WWE made the move to the Thunderdome and allowed fans to attend shows virtually, Vince McMahon filled the void of live audiences by having Performance Center stars act as audience members. When they first started appearing in the stands, no one was wearing a mask, as WWE was heavily criticized for its laxness amid the pandemic. Soon after the company had its first COVID-19 case, Kevin Owens walked out of tapings. While the prize fighter never admitted it to himself, several reports suggested that Vince McMahon reached out to Owens and asked him about what to do next. Owens, who recently lost his grandfather to the illness, pushed for the performance talent to be wearing masks while they were in stands. The very next week, audience members were seen wearing masks. Not all of them, but a healthy chunk. It's great to see that McMahon holds a great deal of respect for Owens and is willing to reach out to the wrestlers for direction on the product.
I figured it was a good time to send this message out. Please, if you're gonna go out in public, wear a mask. Keep social distancing. It's not over.
Number 6, Becky Lynch. Lynch spoke about Vince McMahon doing a pretty daring stunt when he fell off a tower, dusted himself off, and just moved on because he's Vince McMahon and he does not care. The man didn't give any context behind the stunt, but it was still surprising to hear that even at the age of 74, Vincent Kennedy McMahon was still not afraid to do spots himself to show that they're safe, having done the same thing for Rob Gronkowski at WrestleMania 36 with the whole falling off the tower, and just imagining Vince McMahon leaping off, oh wait, I don't have to because here's the clip for it.
Vince just did it, off the platform, 10 feet high. No problem.
Number 5, Lana. WWE and Vince McMahon were heavily criticized for announcing that all members of its roster were prohibited from using their names and likeness with third-party platforms, as they were technically the intellectual property of WWE, even though the wrestlers are treated as independent contractors. And yeah, it's kinda bullshit. An early report stated that Lana's commercials for the Bang energy drink was the straw that broke the camel's back, forcing Vince McMahon's hand and prompting him to ban all affiliation with any third parties. Lana took to her Twitter and called the report entirely false, stating that her commercial had nothing to do with Vince McMahon's decision. There's been no clear indication of why WWE has made this call, but the promotion caught a lot of flack for it regardless. All Elite Wrestling in particular has had a field day with the announcement, poking fun at WWE by having its wrestlers shamelessly plug their Twitch streams on episodes of Dynamite.
And before I forget,
Number 4, AJ Styles. When AJ Styles made his WWE debut at the Royal Rumble in 2016, fans around the world were shocked and a little bit scared. They're shocked because most fans had resigned themselves to the fact that they would never get to see Styles in a WWE ring. They were scared because he's in a WWE ring, and who owns WWE? Vincent Kennedy McMahon. After a couple of underwhelming months with the promotion and a Chris Jericho WrestleMania match and a Y2 AJ, does anyone remember that? Did anyone buy that shirt? Styles immediately skyrocketed up the card when he entered a feud with Jonathan Cena. Ever since then, Styles has pretty much been a top star in WWE. It's fascinating, utterly astonishing that it worked, with WWE even trusting him to be the face of SmackDown when the blue brand went separate from Raw. He's had historic championship reigns. He had the longest pissing reign of recent times. He's feuded with the best that WWE has to offer and is very much one of WWE's biggest stars today. In a recent Twitch stream, Styles broke out why Vince McMahon has been pushing him so hard in the company, and the phenomenal one chalked it all up to his work ethic and making the most of what he's given by Vince Mac. It doesn't seem like much on paper, but it was really interesting insight into just what prompts McMahon to take a chance on wrestlers who are massive stars on the independent scene.
Can it be? It is! The phenomenal one is here! AJ Styles!
Number 3, The Miz. When The Miz first started out as a professional wrestler, he was mocked and dissed by his peers who believed that he just didn't fit. He didn't belong because of his background as a reality star. Ugh. Fakers like wrestling is real. Slowly but surely, though, The Miz proved that he was just too good to ignore, even winning the WWE Championship. Unfortunately, his reign was overshadowed by the slow burn feud between The Rock and John Cena, with the main event of WrestleMania 27 focusing more on two massive stars instead of the young upstart who should have been on the cusp of greatness. The Miz, as cerebral as he is, once swerved fans on Raw by putting on a bald cap and coming out to The Rock's music. It shouldn't have worked, but thanks to Vince McMahon, it did. In an interview, The Miz spoke about the entire segment and said that McMahon made him wait after The Rock's music hit. He waited till the audience settled down before hitting the music once more and sending The Miz out guised as The Rock. McMahon told him that fans would be too focused on the music and the bald head to notice that the man in front of them was someone else. The Miz ended the anecdote by calling McMahon an absolute genius. Number 2, Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin is one of WWE's most hated heels in the sense that people genuinely hate seeing him on screen. Fans have struggled to understand why Vinnie Mac just keeps pushing Corbin as a top heel in the promotion, and in an interview a few months ago, the man spoke about what the WWE chairman sees in Baron Corbin. He said he was attracted to the fact that he was this big, tough-looking guy who felt pretty old school. McMahon loved all of this, which eventually gave birth to the Constable gimmick that really took Corbin's career to the next level. As much as WWE has progressed in recent years, giving smaller, quicker stars a chance, McMahon still has a soft spot for the big toughies of the Attitude Era.
Hang on a minute. Wait a second. The Constable of Monday Night Raw has arrived. And he's dressed up.
And number 1, Xavier Woods. In a recent appearance on a wrestling podcast, Xavier Woods spoke about how he left Vince McMahon screaming, laughing during an episode of WWE's programming. Woods spoke about how he once decided to take his trombone to the ring alongside Kofi Kingston and Big E. When they were wrestling in the ring, Woods walked around the ring playing random notes on the trombone, and during a commercial break, a cameraman informed Woods that Vince McMahon couldn't stop laughing. After the match, McMahon told Woods that he would bring the trombone to the ring with him forever. It was a perfect example of Vince McMahon's strange sense of humor, and while Woods is certainly entertaining with his trombone, nothing about it is exceptionally hilarious unless you're Vinnie Mac. And those are 10 rumors that WWE wrestlers have said about the big boss man himself. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments down below. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, notifications, ring that bell.